Welcome to another episode of Poolside Cooking. Today, we're going to get to know all the wonderful candidates we have running for office that is going to represent our state. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's sit by the poolside. The weather feels so good tonight. Sip on the red wine. Everything is so nice, yeah, it's time to settle down. Because right now we gon' take a dip, then we gon' sip, yeah. Poolside cooking, the flavor is right, eating all night, yeah. Poolside cooking, the taste with a smile on your face, not a thing will go.
Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm so excited. We have Chef Chris back here. We're at the pool. I mean, can it get any better besides that awesome conversation that Clarence just had? Chef Chris, tell us about what you're making for us today.
I'm excited. We have spicy Thai chicken and shrimp with Asian Mandarin salad on the side.
Yes.
And then we also have a vegetarian version
of
the spicy Thai. So it would just be the vegetables with the spicy Thai sauce over black organic rice with the rice blend.
So
with jasmine rice.
I took a sneak peek already. You know, I have to get my digging in, and I'm telling you, that rice looks so good. All of the food looks so amazing. So you know, I'm excited. I love Thai too. So Chef Chris, you're singing to my heart right now.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah.
Yay.
So I see. I mean, it's just looking so good. You have the shrimp, and they're nice and plump. So.
Our chicken breast has been cut up, and we have our white tiger shrimp. Nice and plump. We have our sweet red onions, our garlic, our black pepper blend, and our pink Himalayan salt. And I know you love pink Himalayan salt.
I do.
And then of course we have it mixed in with our olive oil.
Yes, well, it sounds and it smells amazing. You know I'm ready, okay?
Yes.
So right now, though, we're going to take it back to Clarence. We have some very significant guests, and we're excited to get back over there. See you in a minute.
All right, we're here right now with Lee Carter.
Yeah.
I think you got a fan here, Lee.
You
Dawn
do.
has been talking about you ever since your debate.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a wonderful feeling to have potential governor right in our presence, man. We appreciate your service and appreciate your willingness to help our communities in the state of Virginia. Now, Lee, I'm gonna let Dawn start off first because she's been doing a lot of research and she really admires you a lot, Dawn. Go ahead and you can start off with you.
Yeah, I just like to start off with your ideas. I really actually enjoyed some of the more refreshing ideas that you have, more progressive. Can you just talk a little bit about how you mentioned universal health care and just your plans on that?
Yeah, you know, there's really, the system that we have in healthcare is really not working, right? You know, we had a few years ago, Medicaid expansion was the big success story. And it's something that I supported. I'm proud to have done it. We got about 500,000 people on health insurance that otherwise wouldn't have it. But when we passed Medicaid expansion, there were about 800,000 people with no health insurance in Virginia. And we got that number down to 400,000, but it's going back up now. And, you know, with people losing their jobs because of the pandemic, we're up around 700,000 or 800,000 people with no health insurance again. And, you know, that's not even mentioning the 1 million+ people in Virginia who have health insurance, but they can't afford to use it. And so, you know, I think we need a universal health care program that will guarantee not just access and affordability, but actually guarantee that you can see a doctor when you need to. You know, I did 5 years in the Marine Corps, and the way that healthcare worked while I was on active duty was real simple. If I was sick, if I was hurt, I went down to medical and I showed them my ID card and they fixed the problem. I didn't have to worry about a bill. I didn't have to worry about whether or not it was in network. The only thing I had to worry about as a patient was getting better. And I think that healthcare should work that way for everyone. Now, I'd prefer to have the federal government do it through Medicare for all, but the federal government's dragging their feet. So Virginia's government can and should lead the way. We can create a universal healthcare system at the state level that guarantees that all 8.5 million people who call Virginia home can go see a doctor when they need to and not have to worry about anything except getting better.
Yeah,
Wow.
that makes perfect sense.
That's interesting, man. And I really appreciate your service as
exactly.
a Marine.
Yes, thank you.
That's really good information. Now, Governor, governor candidate. See, I'm speaking a little ahead of myself, but
fingers crossed.
Governor Northam has been very progressive in terms of diversity and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
What will you do once you're in office to kind of make sure that continues on?
Well, I think the way that we continue that, the way that we expand on the diversity and inclusion initiatives is to bring it into the economic realm. We need to make sure that we have more Black-owned businesses in every sector of the economy, right? We need to have more Black-owned farms, Black-owned restaurants, and Black-owned factories, and Black-owned, distribution companies, and what have you. Basically, every single sector of the economy, we need to make sure that when we're doing economic development, we're not just trying to get massive corporations to come in from out of state and pretty please give us some jobs, right? We need to build ownership. We need to make sure that the money that we're currently spending on companies like Amazon and Micron instead goes to the people of Virginia in every community, so that we can say, here's the startup capital that you need to create your own employee-owned enterprise. So it's not just a job, right? It's a business that you own, that you operate, and that you have control over your own life in. And it's going to be hard work building that employee-owned sector of Virginia's economy from the ground up. But we need to do it, and we need to make sure that we're doing it in absolutely every community within this Commonwealth.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Because you're a new business owner.
I am. And so it's like music to my ears. Yeah, I agree with all of that totally. So I appreciate you saying that.
Man, I like it. I think we need more politicians like you. But look, Lee, we know we're about to wrap it up, but I do want to ask you this one question. What do you like to do on your leisure time?
Well, during the pandemic, I've been stress cooking a lot.
We need to get you on the show.
Yeah. Oh, I love to cook. I taught myself how to cook when I was about 19, 20 years old. I got a book called I'm Just Here for the Food by Alton Brown that goes into like the science of what's going on in the food as you're cooking it. And I watched a lot of Iron Chef, and I did a lot of experimenting until I got the skills to actually cook. And now, what I love to do with my spare time is just, feed the people that I love. I mean, you'll see me, I'll spend hours and hours and hours over a big pot of soup on a random Tuesday whenever I get the time.
Right.
I love it.
Well, Lee, look, man, you become governor. We also got to get you on Poolside cooking.
You're like, I'm a foodie too.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm like over here just.
Yeah. Look, Governor, Lee, we really appreciate the time you spent with us. We got to go. We've got other candidates. We're about to we wish you were here so you can jump in the pool with me at the end. But listen, man, good luck to you. Keep up the great work and keep up the service to the state.
Thank you.
Bring some of that food. Bring some of that food.
I will. Thank you so much for having me here this morning. And next time we'll do this in person, and I'll bring you some food.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Man, oh man, oh man. My God, Chris Cuisine does it every time. That food smells really good back there. I can't wait to taste it. I'm sure our candidates can't wait to taste it either. But before we get going, let's introduce our candidates. Who is this good-looking young man over here in the corner? I understand he's running for lieutenant governor, and his name is Sean Perryman. Sean, welcome to Poolside Cooking.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to eat, though. This is going to be great.
Are you hungry?
I'm hungry.
All right, all right. And next to him is this beautiful young lady here, running for lieutenant governor as well. And she's no stranger to me. We've been on radio together, and now we're here, finally here on television. And I'd like to introduce to you Miss Andrea McLennan. Thank you, Andrea, for coming in Poolside Cooking.
It's McClellan.
McClellan. You know what? I get that wrong every time.
It's all good. It's all good.
That,
you say it a couple more times.
Yeah,
McClellan. McClellan.
I got you. And I know Andrea.
Yes, we got that one. Thanks, Clarence.
I might be calling you Lieutenant Governor soon.
That works.
I don't know.
That works.
And then coming down here, this guy, I know you played ball in college. And this is a young man that's also running for lieutenant governor. And his name is Xavier Warren. Did I get that right?
You absolutely did. So,
all right, man. Thank you for coming to Poolside Cooking.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back in the Hampton Roads and enjoy this time with you. So
awesome, awesome. And we have a local candidate here today. And I tell you what, she is coming up from the rear. This is Amina Matheny Willard, who is running for Commonwealth Attorney in the city of Norfolk, Virginia. Welcome, Amina.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are absolutely welcome.
wonderful.
Good. Did you bring your bathing suit?
I did not.
You did not bring your bathing suit? Okay, well, maybe next time. Well, let's get started with this forum. Now, last night there was a debate, and got to tell you, all of you guys did a wonderful job, But I'm going to ask you some questions that's a little bit kind of off script, and I'll start with you, Sean. The state of Virginia is going through a lot of changes, in the last couple of years under the leadership of Governor Northam. And one of the things that he did that I thought was very good, and that he is very big on inclusion and diversity. As a lieutenant governor, how will you see that you will continue? How do you see you continuing that legacy and even making it better when you become lieutenant governor?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I used to be the president of the largest NAACP chapter here in the entire Commonwealth. I actually grew it to be the largest NAACP chapter. So diversity and inclusion is important to me. I would want to make sure that our advisory boards, our commissions have representation not only from Black and brown people, young people, LGBTQ community. We have to make sure we're bringing everyone into the table when we make these important decisions that are going to affect everyone in the Commonwealth. So that's really going to be at the heart of what I'm trying to do as Lieutenant Governor. Awesome. And Andrea?
Yes, sir.
And it was you and you're another woman running for Lieutenant Governor. So you're kind of like surrounded by men all the time. It's always like that. And you've done a wonderful job in the city of Norfolk.
Thank you.
And now, July 1st, marijuana will be legal, and in the state of Virginia, which is going to be, I think it's going to be kind of crazy actually, but it's a good thing, I think. What will you do as Lieutenant Governor to make sure that businesses are fairly treated as they try to approach this industry, because the big pharma is going to get in it and everything like that? What will you do as Lieutenant Governor to make sure it's a fair playing ground?
Sure. So, well, first of all, as you mentioned, I serve on the Norfolk City Council, and Norfolk was actually one of the first municipalities to put marijuana decriminalization in our legislative package. So that was step one, and I was thrilled when that passed, and even more excited when the General Assembly and the governor just passed legalization on July 1st. But the actual sale that you mentioned won't start until 2024. So we've got to make sure that we're looking at how we equitably distribute these marijuana dispensary licenses, to your point, to make sure that people of color can participate in that new weed economy, as my kids call it, and so that there's more generational wealth. And so we've got to look to some of the other best practices for other states, because we absolutely have got to recognize that the folks who have been most disproportionately affected by the war on drugs are people of color, and they need to be participating and have an opportunity to participate in this new economy. And so that will be something that I would focus on and making sure we do it right the right way the first time.
Awesome. Mr. Warren, Mr. Xavier Warren,
yes.
With that beautiful smile. You got a beautiful smile,
Thank you.
So that definitely will look good on television as a lieutenant governor or governor or whatever you might be soon.
Thank you.
The last couple of years has been rough years, especially with the pandemic and different things like that, but especially when it comes down to law enforcement. We've had a lot of killings by police and things like that. As Lieutenant Governor, what will you do to make sure that we reduce the amount of police killings? Or do you have a plan, anything for something like that?
Yes, I do have a plan, and it goes to my Virginia promise. First, I want to think about the mothers that has lost their sons and daughters to senseless and killings at the hand of the police. We see it, and we need to do something about it. And what my plan is to do is, first, we need to end qualified immunity so these families could be able to get justice for their loss. Second, we need to increase transparency. Third, we need to make sure that body cameras are on for all police officers. And fourth, we need to actively recruit people of color, work with our historically Black colleges and universities and Hispanic servant institutions to get more people of color in careers in law enforcement, to bring an equity process, to bring equity to the law enforcement.
Awesome. Now, going back to Miss Matheny,
Yes.
Now, you being a Commonwealth attorney, now we've already got a young lady that's a Commonwealth attorney in force of Stephanie Morales. Shout out to Stephanie Morales. As one of the forerunners in the Commonwealth attorney election coming up, if you get in that seat, or when you get in that seat, what will you do immediately to make changes in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office?
So there are several things that I will do. The first thing, in terms of the people that are sitting in jail without PR bonds, the first 30 days, I would make sure everyone that is in jail that has a surety bond, that surety bond is transferred to a PR bond so that they can get out. Because what's going on now, when you have a surety bond, that means either the magistrate or a judge has determined that that person is not a threat to the community, not a threat to themselves, and is likely to appear in court. They just can't pay the money to get out. So that is punishing poverty. That's one of the things that I will do within the first 30 days. And I have a platform where I'm bringing the entire city into the Commonwealth Attorney's Office to make decisions. I've dubbed that the Norfolk Community Action Partnership. That will also be developed within the first 30 days.
All right, Norfolk Community Action Partnership Project. Wow, we got to remember that name.
Yes.
Got to get an acronym for that. All right, back to Mr. Perryman.
Yes, sir.
As Lieutenant Governor, you become the President of the House, or the Senate.
Senate.
The Senate.
That's right.
Okay, as the President of the Senate, what type of changes would you make that you see now, or would there be any changes, or is everything running as smoothly as it could? What would you do as Lieutenant Governor?
The biggest barrier to progress has been the state Senate. Whether it's Democrats or Republicans, they have slowed down bills, watered down gun violence prevention bills, stopped us from having paid sick leave. The state Senate really is a barrier to progress. What I would do is take my advocacy background with NAACP to influence the conversation. I also have a deep policy experience, used to work for Congressman Elijah Cummings as counsel to the House Oversight Committee. And so what I would go there, I have the policy know-how to speak to these legislators, but I would also make this a campaign issue for them. We don't need to play party politics, because when we do that, what we end up doing is sacrificing usually Black and brown communities at the expense of loyalty to the party. So I'm going to make this an issue for them. I'm going to be a headache to them. And I've had positions where you don't have power, but you need to use that influence to get things done. And so that's what I plan to do as Lieutenant Governor.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll pose the same question to you, Andrew. What would you do as President of the Senate?
Well, so let's talk about what a lieutenant governor does, right? So president of the Senate also steps into the role of governor. God forbid something should happen to the governor. And then it's a part-time job. But I think Virginia has full-time problems, and so I would be a full-time lieutenant governor. So for the 10 months of the year that you're not presiding over the Senate, I'm going to focus on the issues that I have been working on in Norfolk, in the Hampton Roads region, and statewide. Issues like making sure that everybody has access to affordable, high-speed internet. Such an issue.
I think Norfolk's about to do that. Right?
We are. So I actually chair, or vice chair of our Southside Network Authority, which is our regional broadband ring. It's pretty historic. We have 5 cities that have come together that are all investing dollars into this fiber highway to create more affordable internet, because our kids need it. Seniors couldn't get access to vaccines if they couldn't get online when we were starting to roll those out. Obviously, it's an issue for business, et cetera. That's number one. Number two is we've got to continue to focus on our environment and climate change. Here in the Hampton Roads area, flooding is huge. We are second only to New Orleans in terms of flood risk. So how are we addressing both climate change mitigation, reducing our carbon footprint, and adaptation? Because guess what? When I can't get to and from work, or I can't get my kid from school, or we can't get 40 to 50,000 sailors on and off the world's largest naval base, that's an issue. So focusing on that, definitely. And then my background in business. I'm a recovering entrepreneur. I've run 2 small businesses. So how do we do a better job making sure we get access to capital for our small businesses, particularly for women and people of color? How do we ensure that they're creating generational wealth? They have access to the procurement system for the state of Virginia as well as localities, because that's a huge economic engine there. So I would love to act in that regard as well. So that's what I want to do outside of the Senate for those 10 months. Awesome.
And Mr. Xavier Warren,
Yes.
as Lieutenant Governor, being the President of the House, how would you make that, would you make any changes?
Yes, well, the Lieutenant Governor actually serves on business committees that focus on generating economic development, entrepreneurship, and jobs. See, I was able to live and work in rural and urban Virginia, from Danville, Pennsylvania County, Hampton Roads area, and Arlington. And my journey as someone who actually achieved their childhood dream of becoming an NFL sports agent, I realized that the difference between a have and a have-nots is those who know and those who don't know. and that a lot of people couldn't get a quality education, healthcare, or housing because they didn't have the financial means. So I wanted to do something about it, and I did. As an entrepreneur, I started a very successful federal grants business that has secured millions of dollars for hospitals, schools, and local government to be able to help folks in need. I see the federal government has, since COVID, spent over $10 trillion. I've actually secured $20 million over that to be able to help folks, and a lot of money is still on the table. I'm someone as Lieutenant Governor of Virginia that could be able to bring in the necessary funding for broadband internet access, education, healthcare, to be able to support people with primary care, to be able to support individuals suffering from substance abuse, mental health disorders, former inmates and veterans to get back on their feet through workforce training programs, and also support women and victims of domestic violence. You know, a lot of issues that come to the General Assembly, they always say, well, we cannot do it because we don't have the funding. That's always the excuse. I actually know where these dollars are. I actually know where the federal resources are, and I will work with the Joe and Harrison Biden administration to be able to make it happen.
Awesome, awesome. Now I know a lieutenant governor's job is a hard job. Like Andrea said, it's a part-time job, but really you got to put in full-time hours. So I know you guys like to have fun. You like to relax a little. What do you do in your leisure time, Sean?
Well, I'm finding I have less and less leisure time these days as we get closer to the election, which is June 8th. But what I like to do is kind of sit back, play some PlayStation, some NBA 2K. That gets my mind off things, and enjoy doing that.
All right.
And when I have more time, I like to work out a little bit, but NBA 2K is what my free time is filled with these days.
All right, all right. Andrea, what do you like doing your full-time, your part-time, or
Yeah,
your fun time?
between serving the Norfolk City Council, being chair of the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, vice chair of Hampton Roads Transit, I mean, I honestly don't have a lot of free time. I'm boring. No, I like to go out to dinner with friends and my husband, maybe go for a sail on the Elizabeth River in my husband's boat, and see the beauty of what's here, go for a ride on the Elizabeth River Trail with my bike. So yeah, I mean, listen, at 757, we got a lot of stuff going on here. So, and by the way, gentlemen, I am the only candidate from the 757 running for lieutenant governor.
But I do have the most endorsements from him.
We'll count. We're gonna count them up. We're gonna count.
We should.
And Warren, what do you like to do on your leisure?
Well, I would say I have endorsements as well from Hampton Roads and across the Commonwealth, and also family and friends from Newport News, Norfolk, and also I'm a Hampton University graduate. What I like to do in my leisure time, I actually wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to start my day. And I started with first prayer as a follower of Jesus. Also, I do yoga, and I hit the cardio on the elliptical. And what I, really look forward to each and every time if I do have leisure time, is spending it with my niece and nephew, Grayson and Corey. Grayson is turning 3 years old, actually in July. And Corey is actually 5 months. So spending time with my niece and nephew really is a joy in my life. And they wear me out, I tell you.
That's
I tell you that.
Awesome. And Miss Commonwealth Attorney, what do you like to do in your leisure time?
Well, same as everybody else, I don't have a lot of leisure time. However, I enjoy having conversations with my kids. I have 2 sons. And my husband is in a bowling league. He's in several. So I'm always there for moral support. But I love to watch him bowl. He's gotten several 300 rings.
Wow.
And so he's awesome. So pretty much bowling, talking to my kids.
I go with the bumper bowling. That's what I do.
That's fun.
Same.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I know you guys are hungry, so we're about to wrap it and get ready to serve you one of the meals of your life. This is how we treat our lieutenant governors in the state of Virginia.
Love it.
We'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm so excited. We're back with Chef Chris and this amazingness that she has ready for us. Tell us about your dish.
So yes, so we just topped our spicy Thai chicken and shrimp with our fish sauce, our soy sauce. We have some mixed peppers. We have our red, our yellows, and our orange. And I'm about color. I'm about color. Yeah. A lot of vitamin D. And we also have our basil. which is also going to bring that sweet, savory flavor. And then we have our black organic rice.
It looks delicious.
That's going to be mixed in with our jasmine rice. So of course you're getting those abundance of nutrients that's going to be flowing through the dish.
Well, we're really excited. It's colorful, like you stated. It's beautiful. It's smelling really good. I mean, if you guys were here, you would be ready to get your plate and your fork, and you're just ready to take someone's. I'm sorry, let's be clear. The salad looks beautiful too. So can you tell us about that?
So what we created was a Asian Mandarin salad, which you have your red cabbage. We also have our romaine lettuce mixed, and then we topped it off with a sesame sauce dressing blend with avocado.
It looks good. Yes. It's so healthy. Again,
refreshing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chef Chris, this food looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I guess we can feed our guests.
Yes.
Wow, I tell you what, that food smells really, really good. Guys, how did you like it?
It was awesome.
2 thumbs up.
All right.
Great job.
Awesome. Shout out to Chris Cuisine, man. Every time she comes here, the food is amazing. But guys, remember, we got a big date ahead of us, June 8th. Make sure you get out to vote for any one of these wonderful candidates we have here. But remember, June 8th. But I just want to say thank you all for coming on Poolside Cooking. We appreciate that.
Thanks for having us.
Let's sit by the poolside. The weather feels so good tonight. Sip on the red wine. Everything is so nice, yeah, it's time to settle down. Because right now we gon' take a dip, then we gon' sip, yeah. Poolside cooking, the flavor is right, eating all night, yeah. Poolside cooking, the taste with a smile on your face, not a thing will go to waste. It's all